mixing up some oatmeal because he
I need some sustenance.
he needs some sustenance.
Oh,
all right. Well, we don't. You've done 2 of the.
I've done 3.
3 of them. Okay. So let's do this really fast. Let's just recap for everyone what the tests that we are facing are. So we're going to go to the CrossFit Games Instagram. So there's the first one. We had the dumbbell walking lunges, the handstand push-ups, and the front rack walking lunges, deficit handstand push-ups, overhead walking lunges, and then 10 strict. So they big chipper there of handstand push-ups and some dumbbell work. And then we had the second one, workout number 2, which was 3 rounds for time of 30 alternating single leg squats, 30 GHD sit-ups, and then 10 muscle-ups. Those were the first 2 workouts that were due. Scores were due today at noon Pacific time, and we are still waiting for the leaderboard to update.
I got a leaderboard.
We got a leaderboard. We do. Okay, so where do we want to start? We want to start in North America?
Yeah, let's start in North
Let's start with the women's North America. Let me get this set up. So we'll go women's North American scores here, and we will do this, and we'll go there, and we'll go bam. Here we go.
Heaters.
Okay, so we got Emma Lawson. This is all unofficial, by the way.
Yes.
All of these are unofficial, pending official review. So let's just keep that in mind as we work through that. Emma Lawson is in first place with 5 points, a win and a 4th place finish, followed by Christy Arima O'Connell, who is tied with Mallory O'Brien. Fisa Gaffi sits in 4th. Danielle Brandon, Annika Greer. Wow, 2 Canadian teenagers inside the top 10. Alexis Raptis, Ariel Lowen, Lily Rodriguez, and Marissa Flowers. Those are your top 10. Now, again, this is all unofficial. So the top, scroll down here. I was going to see where the cut line is because it's the top 120 women move on. So right now on the cut line, Chloe Carano is on the cut line. She is the last person in, just after 2 events, though.
Yep.
So let's go back to the front page of the women's leaderboard there.
I'm going to take a quick peek at this cut line. So, Jessica Kalagian, Lydia Shockey, Elena Buds, Carrie Baker, Bailey Maraviglia, Bianca Savarese, Stephanie Simmons, Emily Torres, Carly Varlin, Mariana Bell are the next 10 in line that are just outside of it.
Okay. So there's the top of the women's. And so, we are waiting on Justin Medeiros. He has said he is going to join us. So when he pops in here, we'll talk to him a little bit. So with that in mind, let's go to the men's side of North America. Noah Olson is your leader, followed by Saxon Panchik. Man, that kid continues to have a great start to his season. Cedric Lapointe.
Noah wins both.
Whew, that's impressive. 602, 625. And I guess when you think about the movements in there, that he's got to like both of those, and obviously he did. Again, unofficial. Justin Medeiros sits in 4th, 5th, and a 3rd.
Yep.
2 Panchik brothers inside the top 5. How about Jake Berman?
Yeah,
he's got to like that handstand work.
He's probably doing it with Noah. I talked to from Training Think Tank, Max Elhaj. He said he couldn't commit to anything. Maybe something tomorrow if he could.
Okay.
He said they have 40 people doing
quarterfinals. That's
in-house.
Nuts.
Yep.
So we have and we got all 3 Panchik brothers inside the top 10.
Inside the top 6.
Get out of here.
Scott just rolls out of bed and hits a 6th and a 9th.
Man, that's crazy.
I'm going down the line. Chandler Smith in 12th. Young gun Tudor Magda 15th.
Fellner's in 33rd. I have not seen one Brenton Fikowski yet.
Phil Toon, Dallin Pepper, Cole Grayshaber.
Let's go to page 2 here. We can scroll down. There's Brent Fikowski in 61st. So just fine is Brent Fikowski.
No worries.
And we'll go to, I'll just scroll down here a little bit. Let's go to the cut line. It's early, but we'll check it out. See who's there. Whoops. That is not the page we're trying to get to. 3. That's the page I want. No, we don't have page 3 yet. So we don't have the cut line.
James Sprague, 96.
Okay, but that's North America. All right. So there you go. Usual suspects up top. Anything, what jumps at you the most there, Tommy?
Whoa, page 3 doesn't exist yet?
Yeah, it doesn't exist yet on the men's. But what jumps out to you the most after?
Let's see.
Noah Olson winning both.
Yeah, Noah winning both. Sam Quant 24th.
Not bad.
Doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to see him back. Jake Marconi 26th. You know, for all the HWPO stuff, I don't think he gets enough credit for working with that crew. And right now, sitting in 26 in a nice spot after the first 2 workouts.
Okay, so that's North America. I just Justin Medeiros just texted me. He said, "Awesome." So he will be joining us momentarily. So
I want to take a quick peek back at the women real quick.
Okay.
Kayla Stefano, former teen champ. She was the only athlete to beat Haley in the teenage divisions. Back
Interesting.
In the day. Yeah.
So let's put the leaderboard. I'll put the leaderboard back up here.
She's at 11th.
So there we go. So that's the women's top of the leaderboard. Mal O'Brien just doing what Mal O'Brien does.
Brooke Wells in 21st.
Good for her. That's big. 8 and a 53rd in the second one. But yeah, good to. I'm so glad that she's coming back strong. Amanda Barnhart sits in 25th. Okay, so that's North America. Let's go to. We'll go to Europe next because that is the next continent where there are more than 30. Top 60 going there. So we'll start with the women. Sarah Sigmundsdottir in first place, followed by Lucy Campbell, Matilda Garns, Emma Tall, and Alize Andriani. Yeah, Emma McQuaid, Jacqueline Dahlstrom, Claudia Gluck, Maribel Gallardo, Chiara Salandra. So those are your top 10.
Gabby Magawa in 12th.
Nice. Okay. Have you seen? Hang on. I'm looking for one Katrin David's daughter.
Yeah.
And I do not see her. There she is, 46th. So not in super danger, but still probably wants to get some work done in order to give herself a little bit of insurance.
Yep.
How about Sarah Sigmundsdottir, man? First place after 2. Good for her. 2nd and a 7th.
Yeah, and like I know this isn't like the focus of her winning right now, but it's also talking to some people over there. It feels like she's starting to kind of get her mojo back a little bit, trusting in her process. Lucy Campbell, obviously, we got to have her on the show. Great to see her continuing to crush it. She is awesome. Really enjoyed talking with her. Matilda Garns, another. I feel like she's the next in line to step up and fill one of the voids in Norway as well, alongside Jacqueline Dahlstrom. Emma Tall doing great. Some new names: Alize Andriani, Chiara Salandra out of Italy. Impressive performance.
All right. Well, we got the man here.
All right.
So let's take a quick. Let's get rid of the leaderboard and let's bring on our good friend Justin Medeiros, the defending fittest man.
Hey,
how you doing, man.
Dude, doing good, guys. I'm actually just got back to the house, did a workout this morning, about to eat some food, so I'm gonna eat and talk if that's all right.
Hey,
Tommy is doing the same thing.
As a fellow quarterfinals athlete, my nutrition is of the utmost importance. So I got to get
Dang right it is.
And actually, you'll appreciate this. It's my overnight oats with some podium protein in it.
Well, there you go.
So
Justin, you are unofficially in 4th place after the first 2 workouts. You unofficially, I'm going to keep saying that, had a 5th and a 3rd on 1 and 2. What did you like about those 2 workouts?
Dude, they're honestly, they're really fun. It's kind of fun to kind of get the higher skill like movements in. I ended up doing the max lift first, and then I hit workout 1 yesterday and then workout 2 this morning. So they're super fun.
And so I'm curious about these 2 because I did the lift, then I did 2, then 1 this morning, and I'm curious: is the strategy for someone at your level just hey, we're gonna go unbroken here, and it's just how fast can I keep the throttle down, or are there set breaks or anything where you're planning? All right, this is still not a full go, or I'm just kind of curious where your head's at as far as how you're planning to attack these.
Yeah, no, it kind of depends on the workout. For event number 1, I had obviously planned breaks. I got to watch a lot of people in my gym do it, and a lot of people kind of got punched in the face when they got to the 10 strict handstand push-ups at the end. So I took some controlled breaks, so I knew when I got there, I still wanted to be able to not fail my first rep. So, it took a lot of planned breaks on that one, but kind of hitting event number 2, it was kind of like, Well, like the plans to go unbroken is kind of a matter to see like how fast my reps are then, like how fast can I do my pistols, how fast can I do my GHDs, and how fast can my transitions. So kind of depends on the workout. But yeah, dude, a lot of these are just kind of move quick and move with a purpose.
I will admit I was hit in the face by those handstand push-ups. I got to the wall.
That's what happens when you don't practice sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's also I got the wingspan. I kicked upside down. Everyone's like, "You got time, you got time." I lowered down to my head and just crumpled into a heap.
Yep, just crumbled down.
Yeah. And I didn't get any strict handstand push-ups. I looked over. They're like, "You got time?" I'm like, "Nope. I'm just gonna curl into a ball here."
Yep, I'm gonna relax.
Justin, last year you finished, I think it was 57th in the Worldwide Open. Still went on to win the CrossFit Games. And I know finishing well there is not a priority. You just want to get into the next stage of the season. But you were in the top 5 this year in the Worldwide Open. What is the difference between you going into this season as opposed to going into last season?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was honestly super pumped. I mean, every year I do the Open, I'm just trying to beat myself from last year. So that's kind of like the overarching goal, kind of going to the Open. And like you said, like it's just the first step in the long season. So there's still some importance. Like obviously you want to have that confidence knowing that you got fitter from the year before, but you're still not putting like a priority on it. I didn't like redo any of the workouts or anything like that, but it was just awesome to see that I didn't put like an emphasis on it. I wasn't tapering out or anything like that, but to still have like an awesome performance, man, I was stoked. I mean, I just wanted to beat my score from last year and to get in the top 5. I was super excited, especially a big confidence boost. I mean, obviously, like you said, like I was still able to win the games last year, but like you look at someone like Matt Frazier, I mean, he was able to win the Open and regionals and the games. And I think if you want to continue to be the fittest man on earth, I mean, you got to be competitive in every stage of the season, no matter what. So that was kind of my goal. I know that's still a weakness of mine, like those types of workouts. I was never able to do good at, and it's kind of good just to feel like, okay, like, hey, still getting better. It's early on in the season, and there's still a long ways to go, but it's definitely a good way to kick it off.
Where do you think that you have made the most strides in your fitness over the past year?
Honestly, just it's awesome every time you get to compete because you kind of get to figure out what you're bad at. I mean, looks like Tommy, you realize he's bad at strict handstand push-ups again. It's always good. I mean, that's what competition is about, especially these early on stages in the season. You kind of get a workout and like, oh, wow, like I did not do as good as I thought I would. So that kind of happened a lot last year. I realized kind of machines and the high power output stuff was kind of something I really needed to work on. And that's just kind of been the emphasis this season is just kind of get strong and get good on the machines. And doing that kind of just made my engine really well. And I'm still feeling super strong. But yeah, just for me, I just want to just really kind of the emphasis this year has been on the machine work. And just I want to be able to go into those machine workouts and not be like, okay, like damage control, let's try to get top 10, just kind of like the snatch bike event at the games. I was just kind of shooting for a top 10 kind of damage control, and kind of next year when I go to hit that, like I want to be kind of going to win it. I want to walk onto the competition floor with no doubt in my mind that I'm trying to win every workout out there, and I want to feel like I actually do have a shot to do that. So just kind of working on those weaknesses still and hammering those is it's been working out good.
To be fair, I didn't discover that I was bad at strict handstand push-ups. I knew I was bad at those.
I already had that knowledge.
I just had I was actually trying to recreate Julian Marquez's attempt at the wall walks in the first workout.
Yeah, I know, just crumbling down.
Oh man! And so you mentioned that you did the max lifts.
We lost him. He'll come back. I think he just had a bad connection, but we'll get him back. Yeah. So, and if you guys have questions, put them in the comments. We'll try to get to them, but I'm sure he'll hop back on here.
Anybody. Yep. Don't be afraid to fire away.
Yes. I'm going to go back to the leaderboard here during this little lull in the action, and go to men. So let's see if we can look at the men's side of things here. As hopefully Justin will find his way back on. But glad he stopped by and glad he's eating. Got to fuel up, like you said. Quarterfinals athletes, nutrition is important. So, all right, here we go. Here's Europe. Wow, Enrico Zanoni, unofficially from Italy, is your leader with 17 points, with a 6th and an 11th. Victor Hofer, Lucas Grulev, Jonakowski sits tied for 3rd. Alex Katulis, there's old BKG in 6th. I feel like 6th That is like BKG territory.
Prime striking distance.
Lazar Jukic is in 7th, followed by Sam Stewart and then Jonas Mueller.
BKG is like, where am I? 6th?
Right. Perfect. That's right where I want to be. But as you kind of scroll down here,
Lazar Jukic.
Yeah. Upnix is in 12th, games veteran there.
There's a lot of new names up here.
Yeah. Moritz Fiebig out of Germany is up there in 15th. Georgios Karavis from Greece is in 17th. Andre Houdet, we saw him compete at the Rogue Invitational. Looked good there until he had to withdraw because I think of an injury. Willie George, good seeing him compete. Elliot Simmons. So a lot of the usual suspects up here. Reggie Fossa, Joshua Alchama, all inside the top 30. So we'll check out, kind of go down farther here, and we'll check out the cut line, which will be at 60 for the men of Europe. So right now on the cut line, Kevin Jurs who's from Estonia, in 6th place. So that's right now would be your last guy in. But again, these are all unofficial, and we still have 3 more tests to go.
Luka Jukic outside of the top 60 right now. Had a rough go in the first one, apparently. He was 6th in the second one, but 232nd. And then PD Savage, 89th, outside of the cut line currently. So those are kind of the names that you might recognize, both games qualifiers. Because this Europe one is tough. Like next year, David Sharanki 125. You're definitely going to see an adjustment. There has to be Kasper Gammark.
Okay,
because the level of competition there is very, very high.
Yeah, but let's go back to sort of the top. I mean, like you said, a lot of new names there in Europe. Only 2 workouts. But what's the thing that stands out the most to you on the European men? Justin is currently logging onto his friend's computer to hop back on. So
good.
We're efforting that.
No worries. On the men, I honestly, the 3 new. So Lucas Grulev isn't quite a new name. He was, he won events in the virtual semifinals in the past, and he finished very well. And I believe he made the last chance qualifier. So he is a guy that's maybe kind of been lurking, a younger athlete. I think he's 24. That could potentially break through. So these are some potential new names in Europe to pay attention to. But outside of that, I think I'm not terribly surprised by the spread that we've seen so far, because I think a lot of these guys are like, all right, as long as I just make it,
just get inside that top 60. So it looks like Justin is hopping back on and getting situated, so I can see him. Okay,
cool.
Yeah, we'll bring him back on here in 1 second. Let him know that he's there, and here we go. So I will just do this. I'll wait till. All right, we'll bring him on.
Cool.
Blammo. Okay.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
Great.
Justin, the question I had is, correct me if I'm wrong, but the more I talk with some, top athletes, you don't get these true 1-rep max tests on a regular basis outside of, maybe some competition type environments. So I'm curious, what were your expectations for the lifts, and how did they go relative to what those expectations were, seeing as that we probably haven't done the other total in a while?
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly really different. There was a lot of learning. I've actually been bench pressing a lot, just trying to work on my upper body strength. So I was pretty familiar with that. And a lot of CrossFitters, I mean, we clean every day. So I was pretty familiar with those 2 lifts, but getting to the overhead squat, I mean, I don't think too many people max those out too often. So the jumps that you make and kind of even knowing what your top end is was really different. And I had 2 failed lifts and ended up getting it the 3rd time. So it was the overhead squat was really weird for me. I think it was just a lot of inexperience with that lift. It's just a lot of weight to have over your head. So just kind of being able to lock in with your core and with your shoulder stabilization, it was something that was really new, but definitely learned a lot from it, and be ready next time it comes up. But it was definitely weird to do, because the other total I think a lot of athletes are familiar with, but this new total was definitely weird.
Yeah. Barring any sort of disaster, you're going to be going on to semifinals. How will your training change once we get to the preparation point for that part of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to change just throughout the season goes. I mean, there's only a certain amount of movements they can do in the open. Same thing going into quarterfinals. And then obviously there's a new set for the semifinals and kind of wide open for the game. So just kind of as the season progresses, just trying to, obviously at the beginning, that baseline, just getting that your machine work up and strength. But as the season kind of goes on, there's new things that the competitions allow you to do. And like for one of those big things is running. Like at the early stages of competition, we don't really see too much running. We do got shuttle sprints, which is going to be really fun. But it's kind of getting more track workouts in and just kind of widening that base as the season goes on, because you never know what's going to come up.
We have I'll just really fast. We have a question from one of the people watching here. It's from Scott J. Are you doing anything other than training? Do you have a job outside of this?
I currently do not. I'm trying it out. This is going to be my first kind of season doing nothing. I've been in school. I just graduated in December of 2021. So I'm going to kind of play it out this year and just kind of just full send on CrossFit and see how that is. I've always had to juggle school and training and kind of go back and forth between those. I've always been able to make the time, but definitely school, there's a lot of stress there. And just kind of sitting in bed at night, like, do I have an assignment due tonight? And you're like, shoot. And you kind of get back out of bed, like submit your assignment before midnight and stuff like that. So it's really nice to have that off my plate. And even now I'm like, frick, I don't know how I did this all in one day. It's been really nice. So I'm really curious to see how this year goes and see if I'm still like happy and content with like just doing CrossFit.
Totally. And I was curious, you mentioned the shuttle runs. It's not something we get a ton. I know generally speaking, you're a good runner. Is this something that you've got a strategy for, or you plan, or are you just gonna, go in there headstrong and deal with that as it may? Because you don't see that very often. And it's a very, I would say, unusual running format in competition.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it hasn't really came up before. So it's really going to be curious to see, looking at that workout, it's most of your time spent like doing shuttle sprints. So it's going to be kind of curious to see how that feels. And it's such a short distance. You're pretty much accelerating just to deaccelerate again. So it's a lot of like ask on your legs, and even rope climbs, you're working your legs, and obviously wall balls. So it's going to be a different workout and kind of see how it goes. And especially with the pyramid style, like you're probably going to feel real good going up, and then on the way back down, it's going to get real.
Here's a question from Dan Dye, who wants to know, do you still prefer training solo, or would you open up to train with another games athlete in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any chance that I could train with another male, at least a male that's training to compete at the CrossFit Games. Just a little bit too competitive that way. And you don't want to walk into the gym every day, like, and be beat by someone that like you're competing against, or even vice versa. You're always beating this person that's at the games. And you kind of get this false sense of security that like, oh no, I'm fit. He goes to the games and I'm way fitter than him. And then you kind of go and you just get punched in the face again. So I would be really open to training with someone. Obviously I got a good crew here that kind of hops into my training throughout the day, but to train with another competitive female is something that I'm definitely open to, but it's always just trying to find that right fit. Definitely not trying to like push into anything, but definitely open to see what that's like.
Here's a good one from Danny. As you get closer to the games, what outside things do you do to make sure nothing crazy happens to hinder your ability to perform? For example, Fraser said he doesn't even use a steak knife.
I mean, I think that's a little excessive, but I mean, like for me, a big part of it is just being like happy, like I want to be excited for training, be in a good headspace, because when you're just like hating life on that grind, like it's just hard to have fun and push in the gym. I mean, when I know like I'm happiest, like I'm definitely training at my best. So kind of make sure I still able to have some fun. And a lot of that comes with games training. Like games training is fun. Like we get to go out to the track, we do field workouts, sled pushes outside, and get to do like all this different stuff, bike rides, trail runs, and stuff like that. So that experience is a lot of fun, and doing it with people honestly makes it so much more better. But definitely like weighing each risk, like, okay, like it's good to get on a mountain bike and practice that just in case they make you do an obstacle course, but there's also the risk of falling on the bike and then you miss out on a couple of weeks of training with a rolled ankle or fall on your shoulder or something like that. So just kind of trying to weigh it out, but definitely just trying to be as fit as you can, because those 2 months leading up to the games are some of the most critical training there is, like in the whole season.
And you've been on the show multiple times, and one of the times we checked in with you after the rookie year at the games, and as life was starting to change, and contracts and things were showing up, and you just recently got to release a flavor of protein with Podium. And like, what are those experiences like for you as an athlete? Like getting to see, your name and likeness and getting to work with these brands and have these little visions come to fruition, whether it's, a protein flavor or it's a brand that you like, or seeing yourself basically become, an influencer in the fitness space and a big name on top of just being someone who is, a CrossFit Games champion.
Yeah, man, it's honestly super crazy. I mean, it's a dream come true. Like I always say, like I was a fan of the sport way before I was an athlete. So it's pretty crazy to see. I mean, I used to watch like Matt do all these things, and now I feel like I'm getting a small taste of that. So it's been pretty crazy, but to be able to work with these brands has been so cool. I mean, when I go to work with someone, like my kind of number one thing is I want to work with like good people. And I feel like if I can check that box, like kind of the rest of the things fall into place. And I even like goes with you guys. Like I love hopping on with you guys. Like it's quarterfinals weekend, but like you guys are awesome. So it's always fun to kind of hop on and have a good chat. And I know good things come from that. So that's kind of been like my number one thing. And especially like with Podium, like you said, coming out with my own flavor, like I'm with Mars, Heber, like Matt and Paul and everybody. It's just like a good group of people. And obviously good things come from that. So it's been really, really fun this past year.
I got to ask though, because I heard this is a little trade secret. That cream you're pouring on the cookies isn't actually edible, right? I heard it was like maybe glue or something that's a little bit more.
It's definitely glue. I was so sad. I wanted to eat all the Oreos, but you pour milk and it doesn't even look that good. Yeah. So you get glue, man, dude. It looked tasty. I mean, I will say.
I mean, I think Sean used to eat glue
I probably did. That would explain a lot of my personality traits. We'll let you go, but I want to give the last question to Taylor Nelson here. This is outstanding. What is the longest you are comfortable with the tail of your mullet? Past the shoulders, halfway down your back, or tickling your ankles?
Dude, that's honestly a great question. I had it actually pretty long, like right before the start of the season, and I'm like, frick, man. Like last year, I didn't cut it. Like I started the season and I kind of got it trimmed, but never took off any length. So right before the season, I cut off like 3 or 4 inches of it. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but like it's pretty short now. Like it was almost down to here. So right, I cut it back early this season, and I'm just going to let it grow throughout the rest of the year. So we'll see how long it is at the games. So, whatever it is, I'm comfortable. You might see me like with a little ponytail out there or something like that.
A little achy breaky.
We'll braid it out.
I love that.
Well,
Justin, listen, man, we really appreciate you taking the time to do this. How many of the quarterfinals workouts have you knocked out? Is it 3 now?
Yeah, I've done 3. I'll do another one this evening, and then probably call it quits tomorrow, and then just continue on with training for the weekend.
We're on the same schedule.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, we might, if you will be so kind, we might just check in with you quickly on Sunday when everything's said and done. But totally understand if you can't do that. But again, thank you for hopping on here. We really appreciate it.
For sure, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, take it easy. See ya.
All right.
Justin Medeiros, 4th place right now, defending fittest man on earth. Love talking to that guy. Good human being. All right,
awesome.
let's get back to our leaderboards. We left off on Europe, right? So let's go to we'll go down to Oceania. And we will check that out.
All right, let's see.
We'll call that up here so we can show you guys.
We got men or women?
We're going to start with the men down in Oceania. So we have
Ben Fowler.
Yeah, Ben Fowler.
Young Ben Fowler, 21 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've heard some name. I think there's brothers, Ben and Luke. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some murmurings about these 2 youngsters.
The Fowlers. Okay.
Yes.
Well, they're both inside the top 6.
Yeah.
Baden Brown, Curtis Jackson, Bailey Martin, Jake Crouch, and there is Ricky Garrard in 9th place. Great start for him, an 8th and a 16th. Zeke Grove currently sits in 10th. And again, the top 30 from down there are the men who will be going. So right now it's Kieran Power, who looks like he'd be the last one in, with Zach Thomas in 31st. Royce Dunn currently on the outside looking in as well.
Mm-hmm.
And James Newberry. But I think that's not surprising with James down there in 40th. I don't think he is full competitive mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, still three tests to go. But Ben Fowler, impressive start for him with a 4th and then a 1st, a 7:35 in workout number 2.
I also think that Royce Dunn is going to mess up the day 2 events.
Oh.
Wall balls. Rope climbs.
He won't even have to let go of the ball.
No,
just touch it.
And the max lift too. He's strong as a strong as an ox. You'll see Royce Dunn inside the top 30 overall going into the final day.
So let's go check out the women's side now.
See Rob Forte, Brendan Swan.
Where are they?
They're tied for 20th.
Oh yeah, there they are. Look at that. Love those two.
Yep.
All right.
Nice to see a lot of new names too. I always like seeing the newcomers.
Mm-hmm. And then we go to the women's side. So this is after 2. Tia Toomey, no shock, first and a first. 5:28 and a 6:27. Cara Saunders, a second and a second. So not much has changed there on the women's side as far as who rules the roost down there. Maddie Sturt and Jamie Simmons.
3rd and 4th.
Yeah. That's a loaded field up there. Ashley Corby, I don't know if I know much about her, but Ellie Turner continues to be impressive. She sits there in 6th with 15 total points after a 10th and a 5th. It's going down here.
And this is going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Clifton qualified a couple of years ago. She's all the way down in 26th.
Yep. So she's, as far as the cut line goes, she's 9 points up. So Maddie McGlashan is the woman who currently sits in 29th. Who would be the last one in.
It's good to see Jamie do well in both of these workouts that were so shoulder heavy, right? Her shoulder dislocated, and ultimately that's what led to surgery. Having to do all the overhead work, the stabilizing work with the dumbbell, the muscle ups up top. Really, this is probably like a big win for her. I think another big question will be the overhead squat, the max overhead squat. Hopefully she was able to do that and do all right. Obviously don't want to see anything bad happen, and hopefully she's at full strength.
Yeah. All right. So that's Oceania.
I'm really curious to see the overhead squat numbers out of this one between Tia and Cara. Remember, Cara won the overhead squat in 2014 at the games. She was north of 250.
Yeah. This is a question from Trey, and it's a good one. Will Tia compete in the U.S. again or in Australia this year? And I think the plan is for her to compete in Australia.
Yeah.
Because last year was, for those of you that don't know, was an individual sort of exception that was made for her given the travel restrictions, and they wanted to give her an opportunity to compete in person. There was a little bit of controversy around that, but she got to compete at the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge, where both of the eventual winners of the CrossFit Games competed in the semis. That was a great semifinal too, and we'll have it again this year. But I think the plan is right now that Tia Toomey will compete in Australia, because it will not be as difficult for her to get in and out of the country as it would have been.
All 3 winners were at the MAC.
Yeah, that's true. And a team. Too. Yeah. So we've done North America, Europe, and Oceania. Let's go to Africa. We'll start with the women. Lee Kirouge, we've heard that name before.
Yep.
And Laverne Engelbrecht, who is she related to Celeste?
I don't know. It might be a common name.
Yeah.
I know there are common last names.
But it's really close. You only have 2 points separating first from fourth, 4 points separating first from fifth. Michelle Basnet.
Michelle Marand, also former national champ of South Africa.
Now, Michelle Basnet, correct me if I'm wrong, she has dual citizenship, right? I mean,
she does.
Yeah, okay. So she's also in the United States, but competing out of Africa.
Dina Swift has also been there as well. A couple of the big names up top.
Then right now on the cut line, it would be Sarah El Safti, who is in 29th. She's out of Egypt.
That was my nickname in my family, El Safti.
Yes. So there you go. That's a top of the Africa leaderboard for the women. Going over to the men's side now. Again, just after 2 events, and all of these are unofficial. So this could change here in the next few hours and days as reviews continue. Keelan Henry, wow, a first and a first. Someone mentioned that in the comments too, by the way. 629 and a 720. 629 in that first one.
Yeah.
That's
fast. Someone was already saying how it would have been, a top score. He would have been number 1 in Europe. Yep, Danny, and 6th in North America. That's
someone legit. Also mentioned it would be cool to have like a worldwide leaderboard just for what's in giggles, so we could just see who had the best scores. That would be cool.
100%.
How about Jason Smith, the Masters athlete? They're in 5th place.
38 years young.
Look at him.
Just getting after it.
I love that guy's story for how long he had been trying to get into the games, and then finally got through, I think in 2016, was able to make it. That was awesome watching that.
He's been competing since before the Open was a thing.
Yeah. Back when we had sectionals.
Yep. Amazing.
So Devin
He's
Ramsden.
He's not a small athlete either.
Yeah, he's on the cut line. Devin Ramsden at 30th.
Mm-hmm.
He would be, I think, probably he's tied with Julian Liebenberg.
It's nice
75.
to see other countries as well outside of, because typically the Africa region has been dominated by South Africa.
Yeah.
But you see Durs Bushaya from Morocco. He had some strong performances in the Open. Mohamed El Omda, who's been a high-level athlete before. I've seen him compete in Dubai. From Egypt, he's 34th. Durs Bugazal, I believe, from Morocco as well. You have Dane Nadi from Zimbabwe. Rahman, maybe, from Egypt. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Bilal Hasham from Egypt. David Sagoon from Nigeria. Hamilcaro Bryce from Madagascar. That would be cool.
Yeah, that you're right about that. Like it used to just be like South African athletes, pardon me, were the ones who dominate. And look, they make up the majority of the top 10, but other flags are slowly starting to creep in there. Let's go to we need Asia and South America. So we'll go to Asia. Asian men, Alexander Elin with 3 points, a first and a second. Denis Samsonov,
the fittest wizard,
from Kyrgyzstan, sits in 6th, and then Roman Krenikov right now in 3rd with a 5th and then a 3rd place. So everybody inside the top 3, they had nothing but top 5 finishes in those first 2 tests.
I want to see Roman in this 3rd one. Denis Samsonov, you may know him from Wadapalooza. He was part of Samsarella Man.
Yes.
Yeah. He's in the United States. He's in LA. If you don't follow him on TikTok or on social media, the fittest wizard, he is hilarious. Fantastic.
And right now
also very fit.
How about this? Prince Khatri from India? It would be the last person into the semifinals. And that semifinal is going to be held in South Korea. That's where the Asian one will be. So over to the women's side. Wow. After 2, it is Svetlana Veselova. No shock there. 5th place. 5 points with a 2nd and a 3rd. Yuko Sakayama out of Japan. That's not a surprise as well. And thank you. Live appearance. Appreciate it. Dog has a vet's appointment, so I got to keep an eye on the kid here.
You have a live feed?
Yeah, we have a live feed on Max.
I like it.
So that's the Asian women top 30 again, going from that region.
Sang-Young Choi, who qualified last year, is in 4th. Shahad Boudebs, which was the national champion of the UAE,
who has been to the games before. I don't know if she was able to make it. I think she qualified in 2020.
She made it in 2019.
She did. Okay, she made it as national champ, and then was looking to go back in 2020 and couldn't make it.
I saw her throw down in Dubai.
Okay. All right. Then finally, we will go to South America. See who's leading. I have a good idea who's going to be number 1 on the men's side, but we'll see. First, we'll start with the women. Melina Rodriguez with 3 points, a 1st and a 2nd. Luisa Marquez.
Yeah. We saw her throw down at 18.1. She was part of that young athlete contingent.
Yeah.
Alongside Guy that threw down in that announcement.
Thais Nunez, another familiar name up there.
Valentina Rangel.
Well, impressive times, though.
So the other athlete that was supposed to be on the Mayhem Libertad team, Jimena Delamer, is in 12th. But I'm trying to think if there's anything I miss. Abigail Spinelli is at the cut line.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll check up on some athletes. People are in the comments. Adrian Check's asking about Bethany Shadburn. Again, all these standings right now are unofficial. Sorry, I got someone calling me. Let's go back to South America, and we'll close out with the South American men.
So for anyone worrying, there were some empty pages on the leaderboard was when we were going through earlier. For the North American men, it wouldn't go past the 2nd page. So there are some that are still updating and rolling.
Yeah, and again, keep in mind, all these are unofficial. They're going to be pending a review. So this could change. I don't want to say drastically, but you could see some people bounce around here and there as we go through the day. But Agustin Riquelme is your leader for the men with a 1st and a 2nd. Omar Martinez, Nicholas Bedarte, Santiago Comba is 1 point ahead of Guy Mahieros, who you got to think with Guy, those first two were just kind of get through it's for him.
Yeah.
I think he's another guy like you mentioned with Royce Dunn, who will do some serious damage here with these next two.
Mm-hmm. And I this was kind of the case before as well. Like, you look at these first two workouts with the handstand push-ups and everything like that, and the pistols, the muscle ups, the GHDs, like smaller, faster athletes like the body weight ninjas are going to crush here. And I think we'll start to see, the high power output athletes shine in workout 5. You'll see some of the bigger guys be able to move the ball and the rope climbs in workout 3. Obviously moving the heavy barbell for the new total. We'll see some strong performances there as well.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the leaderboards. So we've gone through those. Let's do this. Just overall thoughts after the first two.
No, not a ton of surprises here. A few athletes. I want to go back and see if we got more on
the North American men's side.
North American men's side.
Let's check that.
So Tim Paulson, 98. Chase Smith, nice to see him back. He was a guy that was always just on the outside, just missed qualifying a few times. He was one of the guys, unfortunately, that had a chest issue when we had all those dips at regionals.
So we do have the leaderboard now past third page for the men in North America. So it's Josh Woodhull who's currently on your cut line. He'd be the last guy in.
Mm-hmm. Looking at some Luis Oscar Mora is 121. He's a fellow games. I believe he was either 4th or on the podium as a teenager back in the day. He would have been the Mexico national champion in 2020, but he missed out, unfortunately, that year.
Then we didn't have the women's side either. So let's just double check the women and go to their third page and see if we see anybody that jumps out. Go up here. So we got Madison McElhaney in 108th. Chloe Carano right now sits on the cut line. So I know some people were asking about Bethany Shadburn because I did not see her when we first went through the Becca Voigt Miller's in 69th place. Going back to semis.
Doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep showing up.
Page 1.
Amazing. What a difference a year makes. Bailey Rail had to get a backfill invite to semifinals last year. She ended up making the games through the Atlas games, but she's 13th now. It's cool to see that development and see the improvement.
Yes.
Polina Haro, 18 years old, out of Mexico, 51.
Sorry, everyone's just kind of watching me scroll through the leaderboard. I did not see Bethany Shadburn's name in the top 120. So we will keep an eye on that. Let's see if we can find her.
It says she does not have scores in right now.
Interesting. There could be now where that might be one of those things where they're waiting on a video to clear or something. The scores might be in, they just haven't shown up on the leaderboard yet. But absolutely, we'll be keeping an eye on that.
Let's see. Checking on social.
Tommy's checking the sock meds.
Sock meds.
All right. Sure. Let's do this. Let's take a look at the workouts, the next two. All right. So we will hang on.
She made a post getting ready to do it.
All right. So here are the next two tests. Okay. We have individual quarterfinal workout number 3. This one is the first time we're going to see shuttle runs. Not at the games, I think. I think we've had some sort of we have had back and forth runs at the games, but like a pure shuttle run. I think we had, I want to say it was it may have been in the rope sled event where they had to touch behind the line every time they ran. Wall balls, 8, 16, 24, 32, 24, 16, 8. So an up and back on both of these. Shuttle runs, 4, 8, 12, 16, 12, 8, 4. And then rope climbs, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1. 14-pound medicine ball for the women, 10-foot target, and a 50-foot shuttle run. 20-pound medicine ball for the men, 10-foot target, 50-foot shuttle run. 25-minute time cap on that one. What do you think that one comes down to?
The third one?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like virtuosity in the shuttle run. I don't think there's a top-level athlete out there that can't do all the wall balls unbroken,
Mhm.
can't do all those rope climbs in a fashion where you're landing, you're immediately jumping right back up. It's just how honest can you be in that? It's very easy to kind of slack off and get a little lax in those shuttle runs. How hard can you run those shuttle runs, and how consistent can you be is ultimate? Because like you heard Justin say that so much is so the vast majority of that workout is just spent running those lines. The top of the pyramid is 32 lengths total.
Well,
it's
that's true.
So it's a lot,
because down and back is one. Right.
Yep.
Okay. That's terrible. All right. Well, that's number 3. I would want no part of that one. I'm glad I'm not doing it. And then this one, the one that I know everybody can't wait to see, the other total: 1 clean, 1 bench press, 1 overhead squat. Now, you know more about these than I do because you're going to do them. Can you go in any order there?
No, you have to do. So you have to start. It has to be clean, then bench, then overhead squat.
Okay.
And the rule is you can take as many attempts as you want. There is a time frame, a gross time frame, but once you move to the next movement, you cannot go back. So I can take as many clean attempts as I want.
But
the minute I take a bench press attempt, whether it's warm up, I'm done with the clean.
Okay.
And I already did this one, so it's it's fun. There's definitely some interference with if you really go hard in the bench press, there is some interference with the overhead squat. You know, taxing the chest, kind of pulling the shoulders a little bit forward if your chest tightens up a little bit. And it's funny enough, I squat cleaned the lighter bars on my way up to the clean, and just to keep my legs loose. And then I power cleaned once I got to my high end numbers. Because in the end, like, I just didn't want to jack my legs up. Because a lot of the programming, definitely you're going to feel it in your legs. But then the overhead squat was a really good test, I thought, involving the interference of the 2 previous movements. And really test some midline stability, especially with the GHDs and all the other work that we've done gymnastics wise.
Here's a question from Dan. He wants to know if the athletes are able to restart filming before each clean to use the least amount of time in the 30-minute window as possible.
No, you cannot.
I don't think you can do that.
You cannot. Once you start filming, you cannot edit it. It has to be 1 clean run.
All right.
You technically, you could start with, you could just start cleaning, you could start your video at what you think is close to your clean workout.
Because you only have to have the one on film that counts.
Yeah, I believe so.
At least the one you're starting with.
Let me double check that, because there might be a rule around starting with an empty barbell, which it's all the same.
But as we now move into the second test in the second 24-hour window, you put these 2 tests out there. You mentioned a guy like Royce Dunn. I think Guy Medeiros makes a move.
Yeah.
Who are some other people who you think, men or women, just come top of your head that make a move, make a big splash here on day 2?
Let's see. I would like to. She's going to struggle in the lift, but I think Sam will do some damage. Sam Briggs will do some damage in the wall ball workout.
Oh, she'll crush.
That's
that
right up her alley. We see some like let's go down a little bit. Like Danny Spiegel's 37th. I think she'll do much better.
Yes.
On day 2, she'll move up. I'm trying to think.
We were talking earlier with some of our patrons about Anthony Davis,
Griffin Raleigh.
Those guys will smash that.
I think Travis Mayer, who is, I want to say he's like 90th.
He's 92nd, I think. Now, again, this is all unofficial. Like, that could fluctuate based on video reviews and things like that.
I think he'll improve considerably. He has gotten incredibly strong in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But he also has a great engine for, like, just turning your brain off and going. And I think he'll do really well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Sarah Sigmundsdottir hangs on here in these next 2.
Yeah,
coming off everything that she's been dealing with, the knee injury. If she has just a good middle of the pack score on that strength test, good on you.
Yep.
No reason to push that too much there. So here's one more. We'll do one more question. This is from Bravo to Lima. Are athletes able to go down in weight once weight is chosen for movements in the total?
So here is from the official workout description. They must set up the competition area as shown in the floor plan. This workout begins with the athletes standing near their preloaded barbell.
Okay.
After the call 3, 2, 1, go, the athlete may make as many attempts at a 1 rep max clean as desired. Then you move to bench and overhead squat. Once the first clean attempt has been declared and attempted, the lifts must be completed in order. Once an athlete completes a bench press repetition, they may not make another attempt to clean, vice versa, going down the line. Athletes may only use a single barbell and a single rack. They may receive assistance loading their barbell. All attempts must be completed before the 30-minute time cap. Any attempt where the athlete is still in motion after the 30-minute cap will not count. Let me see. I'm going through to see if I can find it. I don't think there's any rules on weights.
It didn't. I mean, if it doesn't say that, I don't think that, given that this is a virtual competition, I don't think that there is any rule about you taking weight off. I just think you just need to get your 3 best attempts.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, once you move from one movement to a next, you're then done with that prior movement. You won't be able to test that. So we'll kind of go ahead.
It does not say anything about a requirement to stay going up. So I believe you are able to switch your weights if you want.
Well, let's wrap this thing up as we take a look into the next day. So I know you said people who you think are going to do well. Who will you be watching? I'll be watching Sarah Sigmundsdottir. I think another thing I'm watching is that battle at the top of the North American women's leaderboard. When you look at who's up there, Danielle Brandon sitting in 5th. She's got 16 points. She's 11 back of Emma Lawson. I like day 2 for her.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would not be shocked if she moves up inside the top 3 and maybe challenges for the lead. And I think Mal O'Brien could be up there as well.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 things I'm watching: women's battle in North America, and then Sarah Sigmundsdottir over in Europe.
I'm going to be watching the women's Oceania race.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I think the longer workout with wall balls, rope climbs, and then the other total with Tia, Cara, Jamie, Madeline Sturt, Ashley Corby, relative newcomer at the top. Ellie Turner, and then some new athletes, Georgia Pryor. I know Marnie Sykes. She's been around a while and has competed at high level sanctionals. I believe she was on the plus 6'4" team from New Zealand last year.
Who did really well.
Yep. And so in what is going to be a very hotly contested race for only 3 spots in that continent, I'll be curious to see who can have a more balanced finish across the 2 days in that one particularly.
Yeah, and then we'll also, after the 2 tomorrow, the bubble watch becomes huge, because now you got one more test to find your way in. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll do this all over again. Hopefully we'll have some more guests. 1 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel to react to the live unveiling of the leaderboard, talk about some cool stories, and again, hopefully have some guests. So good luck to everybody who's out there doing these next 3 workouts. When are you hitting the next one?
I'm going to go back over the hill and hit one of them tonight.
All right.
Yeah. So I am 3 down. I'm going to finish the 4th one. And oh man, I have
the master journey.
I got
right there. I got some neoprene if you need to borrow it.
So the back to tank and that they use. I'm going to do that, but instead of water or fluid, it's just icy hot, liquefied icy hot.
Nice. Well, again, bless you. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll be here again tomorrow. Bless you again.
Ooh, that one hurt my abs.
Goodness gracious.
That hurt my abs.
You all right?
Now. Yeah. Oh.
At least you didn't do the dad sneeze.
The GHD. Yeah. I had to hold it back. Light the house on fire.
All right. That's it for us, guys. See you back here again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And again, good luck to everybody who is competing in the quarterfinals, especially you, Tommy. I want to see you crush these next 2.
Oh, man.